Dear grade 11 students, how are you all? Today we're going to continue our lesson from the Iroquois Constitution, translated by Arthur Parker. We said that this constitution was between 5 tribes and they later became 6 native tribes which had something like a union together, and they wrote the rules which would govern them all. The prophet or the person who gathered them and asked them to stop fighting is called Dikanawida. Dikanawida. He says here, I am Dikanawida, and with the 5 nations confederate lords, the heads of the 5 nations, I plant the tree of the great peace. Here he uses the symbol of the tree to represent peace. By tree here he means peace. I name the tree of the great long leaves. This is the name of the tree of the great long leaves. Under the shade of this tree of the great peace, we spread the soft white feathers down of the globe thistle as seeds for you. We make the plant thistle seeds for you, Adudaru, and your cousin lords. This is the head of the lords and his cousin lords, the heads of the other tribes. We place you upon those seeds, spread soft with the feathery down of the globe thistle. Again, a thistle is a plant. You can see the image of this plant on Google. There beneath the shade of the spreading branches of the tree of peace, there shall you sit and watch the council fire. You know, Native Americans used to gather around a council fire, make a circle around this fire of the confederacy of the 5 nations. And all the affairs of the 5 nations shall be transacted at this place before you. All the issues of the 5 nations will be discussed in front of you. Roots have spread out from the tree of peace, of the great peace. One to the north, one to the east, one to the south, and one to the west. The name of these roots is the great white roots. The great white roots. And their nature is peace and strength. Okay, these are the names of the 5 tribes, and they are the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and the Seneca tribes. Okay, together these tribes form the Iroquois Confederacy. You can say Iroquois or Iroquois. Confederate means united or becoming one union. If any man or any nation outside the 5 nations shall obey the laws of the great peace and make known their disposition, their tendency, their intention to the lords of the confederacy, if anybody wants to join this union, they may trace the roots to the tree, and if their minds are clean, if they are sincere and loyal, and they are obedient and promise to obey the wishes of the confederate council, they shall be welcome to take shelter beneath the tree of the long leaves. We place at the top of the tree of the long leaves an eagle who is able to see afar. If this eagle in the distance any evil, if any other tribe wants to attack us, the eagle will see it and will tell us. So it will, if this eagle sees in the distance any evil approaching or any danger threatening, he will at once warn the people of the confederacy. The smoke of the confederate council fire shall ever ascend and pierce the sky to that other nations, so that our other nations who may be allies may see the council fire of the great peace. Whenever the confederate lords shall assemble for the purpose of holding a council, the Onondaga lords, who will open the let's say the meeting, the Onondaga lords shall open it by expressing their gratitude to whom or to what? Watch out, be careful. To their cousin lords, and greeting them, and they shall make an address and offer thanks to what? To the earth, where men dwell, to the streams of water, the pools, the earth, the streams, the pools, springs, and lakes, the maize is corn, and the fruits, to the medicinal herbs and trees, to the forest trees for their usefulness, to the animals that serve as food and give their pelts, their leathers for clothing, to the great winds, they should thank all these things, and the lesser winds, to the thunders, to the sun, the mighty warrior, to the moon. They should offer thanks to all these creatures, to the messengers of the Creator who reveal his wishes, and to the great Creator himself, who dwells in the heavens above, who gives all the things useful to men, and who is the source and the ruler of health and life. So the Onondaga leaders should open the meeting by greeting their cousins and thanking all these creatures. Then, and forces, then shall the Onondaga lords declare the council open. After this introduction, they should declare the council open. All lords of the Five Nations Confederacy must be honest in all things. It shall be a serious wrong for anyone to lead a lord into trivial affairs. For the people must ever hold their lords high in estimation. So all the people of the Five Nations should respect all the leaders. They should hold them in high estimation out of respect to their honorable positions. When a candidate lord, if a lord wants, or if someone wants to be a lord, is to be installed, wants to be a lord, he shall furnish 4 strings of shells. He needs to bring 4 strings. You know, a string is a piece of thread of shells or wampum. 1 span in length. Span is the distance between the tip of your thumb to the tip of your little finger. This is 1 span, about 20 centimeters. So he needs to present or give or offer 4 strings of shells. Again, 1 span in length, bound together. They are tied together at one end. Such will constitute the evidence. This is the evidence of his pledge, of his loyalty to the Confederate lords, that he will live according to the Constitution of the Great Peace and exercise justice in all affairs. When the pledge is furnished, the Speaker of the Council must hold the shell strings in his hand and address the opposite side of the council fire, and he shall commence his address saying, again, when the pledge is furnished, the Speaker of the Council must hold the shell presented by this candidate in his hand and address the opposite side of the council. As we said, there is a circle around the fire, okay? And he should say, now behold him, now look at him. He has now become a Confederate lord. This person has become a lord. See how splendid he looks, see how elegant he looks. An address may then follow. There is an address after that, or like a speech. Sorry. At the end of it, sorry, the computer got stuck. So at the end of it, he shall send the bunch of shell strings to the opposite side. So the speaker will send this bunch of shell strings to the opposite side of the council fire, and they shall be received as evidence of the pledge. Then shall the opposite side say, we now do crown you with the sacred emblem of the deer's antlers. You know what an antler is? The horn of a deer. The emblem of your lordship. This is the symbol for your lordship. You shall now become a mentor of the people, a supervisor of the people of the 5 nations. The thickness of your skin shall be 7 spans. You should have thick skin. We studied this in the collocations, if you remember. Which is to say that you shall be proof against anger. If anybody tries to bother you, you'll never get angry. offensive actions and criticism. You are proof all these things. Okay, you are never angry. Your heart shall be filled with peace, and God will your mind filled with a yearning for the welfare of the people of the Confederacy. You'll work for the good of the people of the Confederacy. With endless patience, you shall carry out your duty, and your firmness shall be tempered with tenderness for your people. Again, you'll work for the good of your people. Neither anger nor fury shall find lodgment in your mind. They will not have a place to live in your mind. And all your words and actions shall be marked with calm deliberation. You are calm all the time. In all of your deliberations in the Confederate Council, in your efforts at lawmaking, in all your official acts, self-interest shall be cast into oblivion. You'll not be interested in your issues, or you are not after money, you don't want to make money. Forget about this. All this must be forgotten. Cast not over your shoulder behind you the warnings of the nephews. If anyone of the people of the 5 nations comes over to you and warns you about anything, you shouldn't throw it behind your back. You should listen to him or her. Should they hide if they blame you for any error or wrong you may do, but return to the way of the great law. Return to the law. If you do something wrong and somebody advises you, listen to him or her, which is just and right. You should obey the law all the time. Look and listen for the welfare of the whole people again, and have always in view. Remember, bear in mind not only the present, but also the coming generations. You should work for the good of the future generations, even those whose faces are yet beneath the surface of the ground, even those who are still unborn. Okay, the unborn of the future nations. This was the text of the Constitution, the Iroquois Constitution. Thank you very much.